Hey y'all, welcome to or welcome back to our very bookish channel. My name is Amanda, and in this video Jen and I are talking about some of the books we are reading in February, plus we are going to draw from our TBR jars.
Hey guys, welcome to our February 2026 TBR. I am very excited to move out of January where I seemingly have read, and I didn't really mean to do this, but I have read a lot of darker horror and thrillers. So when I was creating my TBR for February, I very much was consciously picking things that were on more of the lighter side because I think I've had my fill at the moment for more of the dark stuff. I don't know how that happened, but I realized as this month is wrapping up that I somehow have read a lot of dark things starting off 2026. Let's dig into some lighter things. And first up is an author I have read before, and I'm trying to read some of her backlist. The month of Valentine's Day and love is the perfect time, especially when I'm trying to read some lighter things. And she just had a movie come out on Netflix based on this book, which is People We Meet on Vacation. I have wanted to read this one for a while, and I bought this before the movie was even out, and it's a very gorgeous edition that I absolutely love. I would prefer to read a paperback above anything else. I'm not a huge fan of reading a hardcover, but I might either try and listen to the audio or just do this one. I think there is probably going to be a huge weight on any kind of audio because the movie is really popular. And I did already watch the movie. I was very curious about it, and it is such a cute rom-com. I have heard that the book is different in a lot of ways, as usual, but people seem to really love the book and they really like this adaptation. So I'm looking forward to reading about it. It's Poppy, and I don't remember the male character's name, but it definitely looked interesting and it'll help lighten my TBR a lot.
So this year I am trying to focus a lot on my physical TBR. I am not including a book that we're going to read for a vlog. We are doing a blind date with a book, and I'm not including that in my TBR because I want to be able to show you all the books that I'm going to read, but we are doing blind date with a book, so that vlog will be coming out in the month of February. And most of my books are romantasy. I would say they are fantasy / romantasy books. I did recently read a contemporary romance that I actually really enjoyed. I just ate the book up. It wasn't perfect. There were some things that got on my nerves, but I read that for an ARC vlog we are doing that will be released in the month of February, so stay tuned for that. But I'm not really a contemporary romance girly, but I did really enjoy this. So I think you all will want to hear about that in the upcoming video. But for my first book in February, I am going to read The Things Gods Break by Abigail Owen. This is the second book of the series, and I don't know the name of the series. I think it's just the Games Gods Play series, because the Games Gods Play is the first book, but the third book is coming out this year and I want to get caught up, so want to read this one. If you're not sure what these books about, you're following Lyra, who is a human woman, and she gets roped into competing in these games for the gods. Hades picks her to be his champion, and she has to compete, and that's what happens in the first book of the series. And I'm not going to get into the second book, but the story is going to continue. I read the first book. The ending was such a cliffhanger, y'all. When that book ended, I wanted to jump into this one right away. So I am really excited for this one. And if this one ends on the cliffhanger like the first one did, then I'm going to be also super excited for the third book coming out this year.
Next, I have another romance, and it's from the Dream Harbor series by Laurie Gilmore. I am going to read the next one because I've read now 3. I have read Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I have read, can't remember the second one. It was a bookstore one. Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, I think. I'll have them on the screen. And then the third one was the Christmas one, but now it's Strawberry Pancake Patch House. It'll be on the screen because I don't own it. I don't know if I'm going to buy the paperback or if I'm going to listen to audio for this one, but I am super excited because I have loved each one of these. I'm not a huge romance reader, but something about these books are just fun. I really enjoy reading them. So that is going to be another book I'm reading for this month.
So this book is going to be me starting a new series, and I'm trying to finish the series I'm in the middle of, but I really, really want to start this one because there are 2 books in this series released. The 3rd book is coming out this year, so I feel like I need to get caught up. Plus, it's the book Jen got me for Christmas, and that is On the Wings of Blood by Briar Bolian. And Bolin, I'm not sure how to say his name, but we're gonna say Bolin. Briar Bolin. And I'm really excited to read this. I know it has to do with vampires, and I don't know, I've heard good things. I've heard really good things. I've heard that this book is super bingeable. So I'm hoping to read this book, and then I will go right into the next book and be all caught up and ready for when the 3rd book comes out. So I hope this is bingeable and it lives up to the hype. Plus, you all, look how gorgeous. Look how gorgeous this book is. It is so pretty. I am so super excited for this version.
Next is a fiction book by one of my favorite authors. And I wouldn't say it's necessarily, I don't think it's particularly light, even though the title is called Love and it's by Toni Morrison. It's probably, her books are pretty hefty in theme and imagery, so I don't think it'll necessarily lighten my TBR per se, but I don't plan on reading all romances in February at all. So Ohio is getting ready to celebrate Toni Morrison. The centennial for her birthday, I believe, is in 2031. But this year, in 2026, starting in February, they're going to be celebrating Toni Morrison for a year with all kind of events all over Ohio. And I thought it was fitting that I got a Toni Morrison book in there because I am a huge fan. I haven't read this one, and I'm just curious to dive back into Toni Morrison because I haven't read her, I think, since right after college. I took a class in college, and it's one of my favorite classes I ever had taken. During that class, I had to teach one of her books. I don't remember if we got to choose or if we were just given the Toni Morrison book to teach, but I had taught Tar Baby. I think my favorite book by her is Song of Solomon. In February, I plan on reading Love, and I thought it just fit the theme, and I've been wanting to read it for a while, so perfect time.
This next book is I think, I'm confused a little bit about where this book fits. It says it's part of a duet, but it's also part of a larger world. So I think this is one of those series that is duets, but they're all set in the same world. And I know there's at least 4 books in this world. Either the 4th book's coming out this year or the 4th book's already out. But that is The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. This is book 1 of the Nightborn duet. And again, not exactly sure what this book's about. I know it has to do with vampires. I know there's been a lot of praise for this book. I own the physical copy because I probably saw it somewhere and picked it up while it was out, either thrifting or book shopping. So I really want to put this on my TBR for the month and get sucked into this world. Again, I'm starting another series or another world that I'm going to need to finish or get caught up in, but I just feel like it's time to read this book. I'm ready. I'm ready to see what all the hype is about around
And the last 2 dive back towards like thriller and darker. So there is a chance. I mean, I always try and balance. And if I start off with romances at the beginning of the month, I'm sure I'll have the desire to go back to some darker. One of my favorite books from last year was We Live Here Now by Sarah Pinborough. I have wanted to read some more of her backlist. I have read other things by her, but We Live Here Now really made me, I think it was my favorite one by her so far. There was one I didn't really like, and then one was just one of those books I was on the fence about. I remember not really understanding it at the time. And it's called Behind Her Eyes. And it just was one of those books that doesn't want to leave you alone, and you keep thinking about it and thinking about it. And I ended up liking it more after I had just let it sit with me for a while. So there's one that I haven't read by her yet, and it's called Cross Her Heart. And yes, again, it's more like a February Valentine's Day theme for my TBR. Heart being the theme in terms of imagery, but I think it's more of a thriller. I don't remember exactly what it's about, but especially with thrillers, I don't tend to really like too much about the book. I like going in blind. I think it very much colors my opinion if I already know a lot about the book going into it. So I don't know too much about it, but whenever we do our wrap-ups, you will definitely hear my thoughts on it.
The next book is a book by an author that I adore, and y'all have heard me talk about. This is my number 3 most anticipated book of 2026 so far, and that's Dig by J.H. Markert. I think Jen and I are going to do ARC review on this book, but I can't wait anymore. It is coming out in March, so I am dying to read it and tell you guys about it. I have loved all of J.H. Markert's books. I've read all of the ones that he has penned under J.H. Markert. They are mostly horror, a little bit of thriller aspects. I just find his horror books and the way he writes horror just so impeccable. I think that they are so good books. They are entertaining. They're not necessarily gruesome gross, but there are parts that are gruesome gross. It's just it doesn't feel like unbelievable when you're reading it. Like a lot of times you watch horror movies or you read horror books and it's obviously like not real and unbelievable, but he just has a way of writing these to me that feels like this could really happen, this is really happening, and I just love his book. So I'm super duper excited about this one, and I can't wait to read it and share my thoughts and opinions about it.
My last book before we do the TBR jar, because Amanda and I are doing TBR jar every month to try and read down our TBR jars. I am planning on reading Lisa Unger's new book that comes out in March, because I really want to do an ARC review, and it's called Serve Him Right, and I'll have a picture of it on the screen. I do have access to the electronic ARC, and I am a huge Lisa Unger fan. If you watch our channel, you definitely would know that. And Amanda recently, for my birthday, had gotten me a signed happy birthday message book on one of my favorites from her, which is Confessions on the 745, and she annotated it, which is even better. It was such a thoughtful present. Thank you again, Amanda. And I have been looking forward to reading the new Lisa Unger, and I think it's close enough that I can enjoy it, do an ARC review. I don't know if Amanda wants to do it as well. The vlogs that we have planned for February, we are working on one right now that we're going to be putting out in February, and it's about us reading ARCs. We read Will Dean's Adrift, and then both of us chose 2 other ARCs for that vlog. And then we're going to have a blind date with a book as well that we're reading. So I don't know what books those are that I will be opening for that one. And I don't know, other than our most anticipated for March and April, I don't know of any other vlogs unless I'm forgetting something. Editing Amanda can always pop in if I am forgetting anything right now. I think those were the ones that we had planned on.
All right, so for my next pick, I'm going to be using my TBR dice. And if you saw our January TBR, then you're familiar with these. It's just 2 dice. Jen got me these, I think, for my birthday. And it's just a fun way to pick a book. You have 1 dice that has genres, and you have 1 dice that has like mediums, like if you're gonna read from your TBR pile, sorry, if you're gonna read from your TBR pile, or buy new, or library. So just really fun dice, and I thought this might help me decide another book to read and shake things up a little bit. So I'm gonna go roll these and I'll let you know what I get. All right, so I got Secondhand Mystery, and I think I'm going to read Alice Feeney's Rock, Paper, Scissors. I have been wanting to read Alice Feeney again ever since I read My Husband's Wife. That thriller was so good. Jen and I did an ARC review on it. Check it out. But I've been wanting to read her again. I picked this up in a library sale for like 50 cents. So I'm really excited to read this. I have been wanting to read her again, like I said. So I really, like, this turned out like so good. That dice roll turned out so good. I can't complain.
Next is the TBR jar, and I am just going to pick one this time just because there are other books that I want to try and fit into this month potentially. So I don't want to try and overwhelm my TBR too much, though I have been getting to a lot of books. I already got to 8 in January, which is crazy. Because I feel like even though I have a lot more time right now, you know, sometimes I don't feel like I'm a fast reader, but a couple of those are audio, which help. But I don't listen to audio all that much. I have a 20-minute commute to my job and I haven't been traveling in January. So I didn't think I would get through that many, especially on audio, but somehow I have gotten to 8. But I am only going to pick one from the jar because I picked 2 last month and I only got to 1 of the 2. So I still technically have another one I gotta get to. So I'm just gonna pick one from the jar and let's see. I did put a lot more in here and I did change how I put them in here. And I have them in little books. So there's a piece of paper in here that has which book that I got. And I was trying to make it easier to open so I didn't have to worry about it so much. I say that and I'm having a hard time. This tape, I swear, I just used regular old Scotch tape, but it is strong. I got it. And I'm gonna need my glasses. I've been trying not to wear my glasses for the video because of the glare, and when I'm editing, I don't like seeing the glare. Oh, this is one of the books that I actually put in the short that we did about we each did 13 books for 2026 that we want to make sure we read off of our TBR. And I got I, Medusa, which is one of them, which is by Iona Gray. And I have really wanted to read that one. And here it is. I get to read this one and we're doing shorts for the ones that we finished from the TBR jar. I still have one I need to do a short for that I finished for January. I will do a short so you guys can see my thoughts.
Lastly, we're gonna draw from my TBR jar. Now in my jar, I have my most anticipated reads. I know Jen and I are mixing up how we're doing it this year. Jen revamped her jar and she has like, I think of the books that she wants to read in them, like her TBR, but mine is still my most anticipated reads. And it's a mixed bag. So I could get a book I don't like. So a lot of times I've gotten some books I don't like. Let's just be real. If you saw our last vlog that we drew out of this, I DNF'd like 2, I think Jen DNF'd 1. We had lots of DNFs. So hopefully I get a good one. I've been on a roll. I've had really good books I've read this year and I just want to keep it going because last year y'all know I was in a slump. So let's see. Hopefully I get a good one. All right. So this one is, let's see, show y'all what it is. Good Bad Girl, Alice Feeney. And this was a book that Jen spoke about and it was released in June of 2023. So I know exactly what this book looks like. Since it's already out, it's popular, I'll probably be able to find it on the Libby app or at the library. So I am actually super excited. I am going to put a hold in at my library for this book to make sure I can get a copy of it and super excited to read this for y'all. I will be filming and posting a short on this book, so stay tuned for that.
All right, guys, let us know what books you're reading in February. What are you excited that's coming out? I don't even know what's coming out in February off the top of my head. We love hearing any comments that you guys want to put. Please let us know your thoughts on what you're reading. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel and you'll see all the videos that we're putting out as well. Thanks, guys, and until next time.